It did the failed broadcast thing again, so. Oh, goodness. As we can tell, Dusty is slightly awake. My co-host, he is slightly awake. I don't know how long he will be awake. He'll probably be falling asleep here fairly soon. He hasn't really had a nap since he woke up at 6 o'clock this morning, and that's been almost 4 hours. That's a lot for him. So he's a little uncomfortable because he's tired and he's trying to get comfortable. So if you hear like a little like whimpering or anything, he's just trying to get comfortable. He's a good boy. He's just trying to go to sleep, aren't you? Yeah. You're such a good, handsome boy. But, I don't really have a whole lot to say. This is the last week that I will be recording, during the day. The next recording I do for this, next time I go live here on Twitch, will be at, like, 5 o'clock in the morning. So, be prepared for lots of yawning. Even this, thinking about it, I'm already, like, wanting to yawn. I'm definitely one of those, like, sympathetic yawners. Yeah. So, but I digress. We're going to go ahead and just get started because I don't really have anything else to really just sit here and chat with you guys about today. Usually I do, but not today. My throat is feeling a lot better compared to yesterday, so that's been fantastic. Knock on wood anyway. I hope it continues to get better. It does not hurt nearly as bad as it did yesterday. Like, it's still kind of sore. Like, if I think about it, I can tell. But when I'm just being passive about it, I don't really think about it, so. But we're just going to go ahead and roll right into our intro. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Phoenix Reads. Today's episode is a series of Today I Fucked Up. That's right, y'all. It is Fucked Up Friday. As usual, I don't read any of the stories I'm about to read with you. I will leave any usernames in the description if you want to go leave your own opinion on their post, given it is still up. My username for Reddit is in the description. Feel free to tag me in stories you'd like to hear me read. Let's get started. I really need to get, like, my own, like, intro sound. I had a brain fart. I believe we're already to episode 9 with these. It means we've been doing this for 9 weeks. I mean, despite that 1 week that we had to take a break since we've been back because I was sick. That was, so almost 10 weeks. I gotta admit, it's been kind of good being back, so. A boop. That's a very funky looking one, but we're just gonna roll with it. Not like anybody but me is gonna see it anyway, so that's always a helpful little bit too. Ugh, my fucking hair, man. It sucks because it's like sometimes when it gets like this, it's like, oh, like I really want to cut it, but then I cut it and I go, I'm never cutting my hair the fuck again, because I've cut my hair really short. Like, I've gone like pixie style, and I do not have the facial features to pull off a pixie style. I look too much like a man, so. Tear. Anyway, we're just gonna go ahead and roll right into it. Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Friday. I hope you guys are having a good weekend. I know by the time this comes out, the surprise will be out. But when I'm recording this, this weekend is my father-in-law's surprise birthday party. He is turning 60. So happy birthday, Dad. I hope we surprised you and we got away with it. That's our big thing. We didn't tell my mother-in-law until just yesterday, because she is like me and terrible at just secrets or surprising people, so we didn't tell her until, like, we said that because Night of Champions is this weekend, we were like, how about we all get together and, you know, just hang out and maybe grill a little bit. And yeah, so that's the thing is that Night of Champions doesn't happen happens at like 1 PM. And we're not meeting up until, well, they're not getting there till 6. So I'm hoping that Night of Champions will be over by 5 o'clock, which is when we have to be over there. So fingers crossed that it doesn't outlast 5 hours. I'm nervous about that. Because, I mean, I will miss the end of Night of Champions, and we can just finish watching it on Sunday, if we have to. Again, fingers crossed. But anyway, I've taken enough of your guys' time talking about wrestling and surprises. But we're going to go ahead and roll right into this one. This first one, we are starting off with a not safe for work. So this is your one and only warning. You know what not safe for work means. If you don't want to listen to, or if somebody nearby should not be listening to this, you probably should listen to it right now. Today I fucked up. Hooked up with a colleague. Oh, I don't ever want to say, like, I've dated, like, people that I worked with before. Because I feel like at some point when you get out of high school, the dating pool, like, when you just work all the time, your dating pool kind of shrinks. And especially, like, when you're young and you're used to, like, dating with people who are around you, work is kind of, like, the first thing you look for if, like, people that you're gonna date is the people you work with. I just feel like that's, like, a normal thing for, like, when you're, like, super young, like, just out of high school kind of thing. Today I fucked up. First of all, I, 23F, need advice. I'll refer to the other person as DP of all the names. 28M. We have been colleagues for a little over 2 years in an organization. We've always been cordial with each other. It just so happened that last year, after I delivered a presentation report to the branch, he lobbied for me to get a promotion to chairperson of that particular department, which I got by means of people voting for me. See, now I feel like it's kind of one of those things where it's like, he did that, and then if it comes out that you guys slept together, people are going to assume that that was the only reason you got that promotion. And that's a really, like, touchy kind of situation to be in. Later on in the year, we attended a conference in which he was a candidate for deputy president, which he got via the entire branch supporting him. Factions aside, during that event, I innocently asked him to check my shoulders or it just says, or any bruising. I think it means for. And it just says in parentheses, I won't get into it. The man sexually choked me. Oh. Wait, what? This, I feel like it went from one thing to another, and I'm going to read the whole thing, the whole sentence again without pausing and see if it makes sense. During that event, I innocently asked him to check my shoulders or any bruising. I'm pretty sure it means for. I won't get into it. The man sexually choked me. I told him to stop, and he did. I let the whole thing go. Who? Who is the man that choked you? The DP? I can't fucking say that with a straight face. Because, I mean, seriously, of all the fucking names. Fast forward to this year where I got a random call for some interview in which I found out he recommended me, saying I'm brilliant. I called to him to thank him. A month later, he calls me to tell me he is flying into my Providence and would like to go for dinner. I apprehensively agreed, as I was skeptical about associating with him on a personal level. The next part is where I fucked up. I picked him up from the airport and went to his hotel. We hooked up. I spent the night with him and left on a good note. I hate to admit it, but it was amazing. I was so embarrassed and worried that I fucked up by getting too close that this man has a girlfriend! Stop fucking men with girlfriends! If they're not in an open relationship. Literally, not just he tells you they're in an open relationship. Stop it. He starts being a bit controlling by asking for my location all the time, gets upset that I talk to his friends who happen to be closer colleagues to me than he ever was to me, and orders them to delete my contacts, of which they did. He is telling the whole nation that I am his woman. I was appalled. Then he'd go for days without talking to me, not taking my calls. I'm just... Men, why you do this? He leaves my Providence to go to the Providence where we both work and school at. I follow 2 weeks later. We meet up to seriously discuss everything that was going on between us and what our intentions are. He told me he genuinely likes me and wants to see where this will go, which turns out he lied and hooked up again. At the organizational event, he kisses me in front of all our colleagues and then goes to the entire event ignoring me. He came to my place to talk but ended up hooking up. Stop sleeping with these men! Stop it! A week later, he posts the girlfriend I mentioned with a caption saying, "I love you." I just want to stab myself with this red flag at this point, because seriously, what the fuck? I blocked him. Thank God! Last night, someone posted a screenshot of him saying something about sucking boobs. I was so annoyed because I naively liked him and played myself. The consequences is that I'm going to seem stupid and naive. How must I deal with this moving forward? TLDR. Ashamedly hook up with a longtime colleague. Turns out he has a girlfriend after telling me we should try something out to see where it goes. After a few hookups, he posts his girlfriend saying he loves her. I blocked him after that, sending a mean text to him, but tells all our friends and colleagues that I'm his woman. I need advice as how to deal with this maturely. Edit. Thank you for all your input thus far, but please provide me with proper advice. If you feel like I fucked up, let me know so I can think of ways to do better. Okay, first off, stop sleeping with men when you're trying to have a serious conversation. In fact, a great, maybe, seeing as how it seems to be a habit of some of y'all's, masturbate before you go have this conversation. Like, I mean masturbation to finish. Come as many times as you need to before you go have the serious conversation. Because if you're already satiated, you won't have the urge to just jump their bones instead of having the proper fucking conversations that you need to. You should have noticed when he just would start ignoring you. The whole, like, you're my woman type thing. That's so disgusting. I'm sorry. It's 2023. We need to stop with this, like, you're my property type behavior. If it's a kink of yours, that's different, and I understand. But stop letting these men walk all over you and treat you like trash and then ignore you in front of all these people. What you need to do is, honestly, I think just move on at this point. Do not unblock him. Do not have any type of conversation with him. And if anybody asks you about it, tell them. Just tell them the truth and be like, he led me on to think that there was something that could happen between us. And then I found out that he had a girlfriend the whole time. And so I no longer want anything to do with him. And leave it like that. Whatever bullshit he wants to come up with, let him fucking do it. Because eventually he's going to contradict himself and people are going to realize he's lying. So, honestly, the best thing that you could possibly do in this situation is just fucking, like, if anybody asks, just be like, oh, yeah, we hooked up because he led me on saying that, you know, he thought that we could be together, and he was very controlling and manipulative, and then I found out he had a girlfriend the whole time. It's just real simple, just basic information, and move on with it, because honestly, the more you let him do things is the more control he has over you, despite the fact that you're not talking to him or with him. But we're going to move on to the next one, because I could probably sit here and talk about this one for, like, a while. Oh, he's asleep. Today I fucked up by being seduced by creeps. Wait. I'm pretty sure that says crepes. CREPES. That's crepes, not creeps. I read that wrong for a hot second, then I realized the E was placed differently. How did you... Okay, don't get me wrong. I am a fatty. I love food too, but I don't know if I could ever... Well, no, that's a lie. Tacos. Steak. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to say what I was going to say. To avoid any suspicions, avoiding age and G-musing. It's G-M-U-S-I-N-G. Gender neutral, as my partner browses here a ton as a warning. But the problem arises around 7 a.m. I usually arise earlier than my partner, about 3 hours earlier on average. It's nothing special, but every now and then I cannot go back to bed because I get super hungry. It's as if I'm trying not to think about food and going back to bed, but my stomach grumbles and I cannot shamefully acknowledge I am hungry. Usually I try to make a sandwich quietly or something small. The kitchen is next to the bedroom. The design of this place seems to create an unethical echo back to the bedroom hearkening my partner to be aware I am not in bed with them, but am in fact having a secret affair with Pepperidge Farm, toaster strudel, or some other foul but tasty treat. Problem arose today, however, where I wanted to splurge. Crepes. How did this come about? Not a clue. I awakened to simply a sound saying, "Buy crepes." So I hearkened towards these demonic voices in my head and Grubhubbed some poor chaps for crepes at 6 a.m. Delivery window was an hour. Fast forward to hand-off time. The driver, Karen, who happened to be a male in their 40s, which was unexpected but possibly a foreshadow off a morning filled with oddities, handed off my food to me as I began an individual of culture. The wording of this is just wild. Handed off my food to me as I, being an individual of culture, was browsing Reddit during the wait time. I thought I had sneakily re-emerged to no one the wiser, but alas, it was all in vain. I really don't understand why people write their stories like this. It just kind of comes off like very like Reddit cringe. Like, I'm imagining a dude in a fedora, okay? I don't know if it's anybody else but me. And I'm trying really hard not to. As I open the first box of food, exposing a seductive crepe slathered in a sticky cream covering, beckoning me to eat them, I hear it. My partner asking where I was. Upset that I had left their side and disappeared, I felt the urge to distract from the truth and reply I had gotten crepes for us. Yes, us, I thought. Surely this vixen of breakfast could also allure my partner, but unfortunately their charm was lacking. My partner immediately arose from their slumber, asking why did I go outside for a while if I was just getting the food. To my horror, I realized my state of slumber and semi-consciousness. I had waiting for 20 minutes for the food, an anomaly from my prior habits of ordering food, and I had indeed ordered Grubhub. I would have had a tracker. What in the fuck is... I really don't like this story. I'm just gonna say it. Defeated, I fessed up as if a child caught red-handed with their hands inside a cookie jar and simply gasped the plain truth of it all. I simply wake up far earlier than them, and I get very hungry and have gotten tired of waiting for them to wake up over the years together and decided to splurge today instead of quietly eating something in the kitchen. I thought the truth would set me free along with the crepes. I would be free of punishment, right? No, the error of my ways was yet to unfold. My partner looked at me as if examining a Rubik's Cube and uttered, "You idiot, why don't you just get food instead of staying hungry and say so?" Upset as they were at me for making them feel as if I had a secret affair, of a human kind, of course, they simply said I was an idiot for not eating real and regular food like a civilized being, and instead treating my desires as if I was a vagabond attempting to avoid detection. I really don't like this story. All the big words are just so fucking pointless. I'm sorry. If you are enjoying this, please, I'm glad. Me personally, this is just not my bag. Worse yet, they knew I would get up to conduct such silent forays, but were uncertain as to what I was doing so quietly in the kitchen. More so, when sounds of delight and ecstasy were clearly audible. Oh, how accursed was I that night for allowing the carnal temptation of Nutella to overtake my better sensibilities and cry out in subtle climax without noticing. Oh my fucking god. Sorry, this is the stupidest fucking one I think we've read so far. For me, I'm moving on. So thus, as I write this post while enjoying some crepes, I have learned that it is okay to be hungry and simply be human and eat and not worry about my desire to be the breakfast version of Solid Snake, as pretending that I need to do so in secret only warrants the suspicion of cheating. However, I may have truly also effed up, as in the course of writing this, I had eaten the last of the Pepperidge Farm white chocolate macadamia nut cookies, and must pray the evil deed goes unnoticed. I can't help but roll my eyes, I'm sorry. If an artistic writing is not your cup of tea, the TLDR version, oh my god, this was artistic writing? Bruh, it's fucking Reddit. Like, if this was supposed to be, like, in the stories thing, like, fictional stories, that I get, but you're trying to tell, like, a story of what actually happened. And that's what fucking irks me with this. TLDR version. Have been secretly getting out of bed to feed my fat face, but did so quietly, thinking I was a considerate partner, but only caused my partner to think I was trying to watch porn and masturbate in secret. could have just fucking said that the whole time. I did not understand the whole point of all the expressive words. Again, if you enjoyed that version of it, y'all, more power to you. Me, that was definitely not my cup of tea. I definitely think I already know what the name of this episode is going to be called. The most annoying story ever. Today I fucked up by saving a child on Michigan Ave. Obligatory. This happened a few years back, but I was reminded of it by something I saw today. To understand the story, you have to know a little about me. As long as you don't use them crazy ass words from before, bruh, I'm fine. I grew up on a farm. Oh, hold on. Oh, sorry. Sneezed again. two episodes in a row. I rarely ever sneeze, and now it's like I'm just gonna sneeze every time. I grew up on a farm on the border of KY and Illinois, so Kansas City Kentucky and Illinois, sorry. My father was a farmer and a preacher who instilled in me a powerful belief that I should never shy away from helping someone, even at the risk of my own life or injury. You know, I don't have a lot of things that, like, bug the shit out of my husband. But there is one big one. I am notorious. If we are just sitting here in the living room and somebody screams, like, help, or a big noise comes, I am the first one out the door. I will run out the door to go see if I can help. And also because I'm nosy as fuck. My husband will run to get our gun. I run to grab my shoes and go see what's going on. I want to be, like, the first one there. Like, I am there. Like, what can I do to help? And my husband tells me that the reason it bothers him so much is because he's like, you're running into possible danger and you don't do anything to protect yourself. And that's really, like, the biggest pet peeve that he has for me. He's told me so himself multiple times. I'm also 6'3", 300 pounds, and move quite well for a man my size. I had just taken a job working on Michigan Ave in Chicago, and it was one of my first times walking up the Mag Mile from the metro station. I had not been in the city long, and it was still a bit awed by the number of people and the wonder of the skyline. As I approached a busy intersection, I took my eyes off the tops of the buildings and started scanning the streets to see if I could cross. For those of you who have been a pedestrian commuter on Michigan Ave, you understand just how important it is to be vigilant, even at a light-protected crosswalk. As I waited, I saw a child who looked about the size of a second grader with a backpack standing precariously close to the street about 20 feet north of the crossing. Something in the back of my head was screaming, "This child's going to step out into the street." As I watched in horror, the nagging voice proved to be right as the kid jumped off the curb and started running across the 6 lanes of traffic. Y'all, watch your crotch goblins, please. Instinct kicked in, and I took off in pursuit, closing the distance between us in a matter of steps and swapping. It's SWAPPING. Swapping up the child. I think it means sweeping. Up the child into my arms before sprinting back to the curb. I spoke softly to the child, tucked under my arm like a sack of feed as I returned us to safety. I swear to God, if this ends up being a little person and not a child, I'm going to fucking lose my shit. Hold on, buddy, I got you. To which a man's voice replied, "What the fuck are you doing, asshole?" Oh my God, it is! It's a little person! Oh my God, no fucking way. Shocked, I dropped him down on the sidewalk and turned him around, only to be greeted by a man with a bushy salt and pepper goatee. TLDR, I carried a person with dwarfism back to the sidewalk as they tried to jaywalk across Michigan Avenue. Oh my God. It was a fucking little person, y'all. I am... Oh my God. I just need to... Give me a second. I never want to forget this story. Oh my God. I just need a moment. The secondhand embarrassment I'm feeling from this story is just, mwah. Oh my God, I can't. I fucking can't. Okay. I'm good. I was not prepared. Part of me was like, there's no way this is actually going to be a little person. The mom is gonna, like, lose their shit and think that he's kidnapping her kid or something like that. No, it was dead ass a little person. Or somebody with dwarfism. I don't know the proper terms. I'm crying. That's how good that story is. Oh my God. I'm crying. I'm crying from that. That was so good. Just the secondhand embarrassment I'm getting from that situation is just, it's fucking perfect. Okay. Sorry. Today I fucked up by photoshopping my boss's face onto his entire family and sending it to my work chat. Okay, so listen. I too have done stupid things. Not to my boss, but to, like, my teachers when I was, like, in middle school and shit like that. And I've definitely gotten in trouble for it. I will not be going into detail to what I did. He's snoring. Sorry. So, trust me, it is not worth it. And honestly, you can't trust nobody, okay? Especially when you have a job. People are there to fucking go to work and leave. But then there are those people that are like, I will take any fucking moment I can to push somebody under the bus. Oh, God, that was so good. I'm still, like, laughing a little bit inside about that last one. Today I fucked up obligatory. This happened last year. Luckily, I have a new job. It was Father's Day 2022. My boss on my team of 10 sends a photo of his entire family, including his 3 baby grandchildren, 3 kids, their spouses, his daughter doesn't have a spouse, and his wife. My boss is not a good-looking man. The face only a blind mother could love. Damn, tell us how you really feel. Fuck. Unfortunately for his family, especially the female offspring, his genes are strong as fuck. I also hate my boss with a passion. His partner / my other boss that I had a good relationship with was just forced to retire the previous month. He had also just brought his lazy son. Sorry, I'm adjusting. Oof. He just brought his lazy son, who's about my age, onto the team, and I was taken out of all client interaction because his son needed exposure. His son regularly fapped in the work bathroom with people sitting next to him, but that's another story. That's disgusting. Like, listen, I understand, like, when the urge strikes you, but, like, seriously? Sorry, I'm yawning again. Slept like shit last night again. I had a eureka... Luckily, I had one really good work friend on my team who also hated my boss, but he was higher up and didn't really need to deal with him as much. As this work group chat is going off, we are just ripping into his family. We're both pretty tipsy because fuck it, it's Father's Day and we're not fathers. This entire time, we were joking like how crazy would it be if we accidentally sent it to the wrong chat. I was laughing or lolling because it was in text at him like he would be an idiot to send it to the wrong chat. I had a eureka moment. I'm pretty good with the face in the hole and use it often for funny memes. I don't know what face in the hole is. I'm assuming it's something like a meme maker. I don't know if it's an app or something. I face in the hole his ugly face onto his entire family except for his daughter. This included his 2 sons, 3 granddaughters, and his wife and 2 daughter-in-laws. I made this thing a masterpiece. I was using tone, contrast, switched angles to match everything. It was the Mona Lisa of fucked up face and hole. The best part is you couldn't even tell that his daughters wasn't face in the hole and that his granddaughters were photoshopped. Goodness. In pure excitement of this masterpiece, I saved it and immediately sent it to my buddy, waiting for my glorious applause. As I sent it, all of a sudden a text notification at the top comes up from my work buddy that says, WTF? It took me a second to register that I just sent that to my entire team. I hadn't said anything in the group chat at all up to this point. My first message was this picture that had multiple layers of fucked up. I literally jumped up from the couch and throw my phone against the couch saying, "Oh no, 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 no," and started profusely sweating and panicking frantically in the living room. My fight or flight response kicked in and I wanted to run like Forrest Gump. My wife freaks out thinking I just found out I had cancer or something, and I told her what happened. She had no idea the fucked up shit we were sending. She had just heard me giggling like a little schoolgirl across from the couch. She immediately tries to calm me down, saying it's probably not that bad. I show her the picture and her jaw drops. Okay, we need to think of something. I called my buddy who was laughing hysterically at my stupidity, and I'm like, you need to bombard the chat so hopefully he doesn't see it. He starts sending messages and asks people how their Father's Day was to get more interaction, as I am just panicking / sweating / contemplating quitting before I could get fired. My wife ends up having a genius plan by telling me to text Happy Father's Day, boss's name, to you and your mini-me's, which I thought was genius, but I sent it like 15 minutes and 20 messages later, so it was random at that point and maybe put more attention to it. My buddy tells me your other coworkers texted him on the side. What the fuck did baby boy blue just send? Is he trying to get fired? Also, what wasn't boss's daughter's name? Why wasn't, I think it means why wasn't, but it says what wasn't boss's daughter's name, the only one not photoshopped. It was like 9 a.m. at this point, and my wife is trying to console me, but I could tell she was worried too. Like, maybe your boss didn't see that photo where you photoshopped his ugly face onto his entire family, including his baby granddaughters. I couldn't sleep at all that night. I just rolled around sweating, thinking about what the fuck I'm going to say to him and explain myself. Do I come up to him first and apologize? Do I wait and pray that he didn't see it? I went through every possible scenario in my head and they all sucked. Oops, I accidentally slipped up and photoshopped your face on your entire family and then sent it to the group chat. I get ready for work early because I legit couldn't sleep. It felt like a prisoner on death row making his last walk, but I didn't get a tasty last meal because I felt like I was going to vomit. Honestly, that's kind of a thing too. Like, just like sidebar about that, but knowing that you're going to die and that this is your last meal, like being on death row, I am surprised that people can eat as much as they can. Like, I would be too nervous to fucking take a bite. Like, I would throw it up, like, probably immediately afterwards. Sorry. Just, that made me think about that, because I'd never thought about that before. I'm the first one in the office, and I'm pretending to work and trying to play it cool. Our assistants come in, and I'm thinking, all right, be sharp here and act like nothing happened. They say nothing about it, or they say nothing about it, like they didn't see me insult our boss's entire family via a masterpiece face in the hole. I'm starting to calm down, thinking no one saw it. Then my work buddy comes in and he's just dying laughing, which brings my anxiety up. He can see me from his office, so every time a new coworker comes in, his eyes get wide, like, oh shit, here he comes, as he's chuckling. No one says anything. Then the moment of truth comes, and my fat, ugly boss walks in with his fat, ugly son and says nothing. No hi, no good morning, just nothing. Okay, kind of weird for him, but not bad. I'm watching his every move like I'm some psychoanalyst trying to read a serial killer's body language. Nothing happens, and I'm convincing myself he didn't see. Maybe my face in the hole was so good that he thought I just sent the original photo back. Oh, goodness. 12 p.m. comes by and he comes up to me and says, "Baby boy blue, want to grab some lunch?" I'm good. Not hungry. I had a big breakfast. Well, walk with me across the street to get some food. Alright, I guess. The time had come. I didn't get away easily. As we were walking out, my buddy Army saluted me like it was the last time he would see me. Sorry. Laughing and crying like plugged my nose up a little bit. He starts with small talk and I can barely answer because I'm just thinking how I would come up with an excuse. I have to wait for this fucker to get his stupid salad bar as I'm starting to sweat again. I looked like a walking food violation because the sweat was coming through my work shirt. We walked back and he's asking about my career aspirations and all these things. This guy did not mention it the entire time. He was just 100% mind fucking me, and it worked. It was honestly worse than if he had just called me out. I got back to work and I was safe. No one else on the team mentioned it again. My buddy would always randomly send me the photo while working just to fuck with me. I ended up quitting about 6 months later for a much better job, thinking about sending it to that chat again next Father's Day as a fuck you. Oh goodness. TLDR. I was drunk and me and my coworker were sending fucked up things about a photo that my boss sent of his ugly face and his family in a work chat. I photoshopped his head onto his entire family, and including his baby granddaughters. I only left his daughter not photoshopped because she unfortunately looks the most like him. I then accidentally sent it to the wrong group, accidentally sent it to the work group chat. Thought I was getting fired. My boss just mind fucks me and never mentions it. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I feel like that also, like, from the boss's point of view, that's kind of like a good petty revenge. And I just lost track of what number we were on. 5. And it's so stupid because I just looked at it. And so, like, I feel on the boss's part, like, that's a really good, like, petty revenge type story from his point of view. So, I don't know. I just thought it was pretty good. That was a pretty good one. Like, I would probably be, like, sick to my stomach over the whole situation. Like, the whole time waiting, I'm just like, I'm gonna die. Like, I'm gonna get fired, and then this is gonna happen. Like, it's gonna go on my record. Like, nobody's ever gonna want to hire me again. Like, my mind would be racing. I would not sleep for weeks. Today sorry. This one is also a not safe for work. So, one and only warning. Today I fucked up by being on time for a work meeting. Okay. So, I work from home, and my work often schedules meetings weeks, sometimes months in advance, and they can be easy to forget about because of that. However, I have reminders and notifications set up, so it's usually not a problem. I also have auto join set up, so it puts me in the meeting automatically when it's time. Typically, Google Meet also mutes me automatically due to the number of people in the meeting. A few days ago, however, I had a friend over who was studying while I was working. She started massaging my shoulders, which led to other things, and my headset fell off during the activities. Why? During this time, I missed the 5-minute warning notification for the meeting and got auto-joined. Normally, this would be no problem because, like I said, it mutes you if there's more than a certain number of people in the meeting. But today's meeting was to get us acquainted with a small group we'd be doing a project with, so there were only 2 people besides me, and so I didn't get auto-muted. They heard everything. And I mean everything. And my friend is kind of a loud lovemaker. Very vocal. Fucking shit, dude. I saw only 8 minutes after the meeting had started. Rushed back on to explain, and they laughed it off when I told them it was a TV show in the background once I realized what had happened. But I'm pretty sure they know what happened. TLDR. People at work on my Google Meet heard me having sex loudly. Very loudly. You know, sometimes that's just what you get. I will never understand. I just don't. Today I fucked up by drafting a joke reply to my boss's email and accidentally hitting send. This is just like the boss episode. 'Cause, like, holy shit. We had layoffs last year at my company, and my department has been struggling ever since. The executive who oversees our department is barely ever in the office and rarely interacts with us. I think it's clear that we've been pretty unhappy, though, and she finally emailed me asking how I thought the morale was in the office. Without thinking, I drafted up a rude joke reply with the intention of screenshotting and sharing it with a couple of close coworkers just to have a laugh. My reply simply said, "Really fucking bad, hope this helps," and I signed my name. And then I accidentally hit send. She hasn't replied yet, but I quickly replied again apologizing and explained that sometimes I draft joke replies as a method to vent my frustrations and that it'll never happen again. Now I keep refreshing my indoctrination, waiting for her reply. I hope I'm not in too deep here, but at the very least, it made my coworkers die laughing when I told them what happened. TLDR. I drafted a rude email response to my boss and accidentally hit send. God, like, what? I lost my brain again. And I just saw it. Like, that wasn't even, like, a 2-pager. very work-heavy, fucked up day, I guess. Today I fucked up by giving everyone a semi-morbid reminder that the service elevator is extremely dangerous. Okay. So this happened a few years back at another job, but after a post earlier reminded me of workplace shenanigans, I felt like I needed to share. I used to work for a company, I won't name, that made various items for children and babies, such as car seats, cribs, dressers, etc. Anyhow, they were apparently terrible at it because they were sued into bankruptcy after many, many deaths of children and babies caused by their products. I kind of wish they would name it, just that way I know never to buy secondhand stuff. Or anybody would know not to buy secondhand stuff. Before they were forcibly shut down, I was in charge of damaging these faulty products to the point that they could never be used again to prevent more accidents. It was a strange place. We didn't go by model numbers. I'd radio the guy downstairs and he'd say, "Hey, could you send up a pallet of the Stranglers? We're almost out of work." Really messed up now that I typed that out and thought about it. Anyhow, we had this huge service elevator that was built like the 40s, probably 20 by 20 feet, and was basically a sketchy cage wrapped in chicken wire. So, one day I found this mannequin I named Charlene when I was upstairs dicking around, and later on decided I'd bring Charlene down the service elevator to put her in my office. Well, Charlene decided that she was going to fall over in the elevator, and that's when tragedy struck. Tragedy struck. Fucking... I can't even think of the word now. Words are hard. Turns out the chicken wire walls were exactly that, and as we plummeted at breakneck speed from the 3rd floor to the 1st, Charlene's leg had managed to get under the cage and was violently torn off between the 3rd and 2nd floor. Poor Charlene. So, like any safety-conscious person, I hung up a big printed sign in the elevator stating, "Elevator awareness. This could be you," and nailed her foot to the door frame of the cage. Management did not find this amusing. They called a meeting with all the employees and grilled everyone until somebody finally cracked and ratted me out. Needless to say, I was let go shortly afterwards. They say it had nothing to do with Charlene, but I know it had everything to do with Charlene. TLDR, my mannequin Charlene got her leg torn off in a service elevator, and instead of being praised for being safety conscious, I was fired. See, that just sounds rude. Like, you're trying to help people out by reminding them that they could lose a fucking leg. But I mean, if not you, and then they actually do lose their leg, who's gonna be at fault, huh? The company. Just saying. Maybe if that leg hung there a little bit longer, people would think about it. Today I fucked up by throwing up at the most awkward moment possible. I'm trying to think of what the most awkward moment possible could be. Like, before we read it. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think the most awkward moment possible could be to throw up. Or if you had thrown up, and the most awkward moment possible for you, let me know what that is. I, 18F, have been best friends with my current best friend, let's call her D, since we were 11. But unfortunately, in September, we are going to be going to different universities. We are both dreading it. Today was D's 18th birthday, and we were celebrating by going bowling. I thought we were going to a place which was only half an hour away, and so I did not take a travel sick tablet. But we went to a different place in a town nearly an hour away. I was fine on the way up, but pretty much the entire way back, I felt sick. I did not say this out loud, though, because I didn't think I was actually going to be sick, and I didn't want to worry anybody. Our other friend was there too, and we only see her a few times a year because she moved schools when she was 16. I just sat as close to the window as possible while she did most of the talking. However, I started to feel worse and like I was going to be sick, and I had decided I would ask to get out of the car after we dropped off our other friend at home. But right after she got out of the car at her house, Dee took that moment to tell me how much I meant to her, how much she would miss seeing me every day, and how we should definitely stay in contact and video call because our friendship means a lot to her. Despite internally pleading with myself, do not throw up, and trying my absolute hardest to keep it down, I had to pull away from our hug prematurely, and I puked into the nearest bag less than a minute after she told me that. Initially, she did not even think of it from that angle I just had. She was concerned, trying to get me to roll the window down, holding the bag closer to me, asking if we needed to stop the car. But I was already groveling. I am so sorry. That was the single most awkward moment I could have thrown up. Initially, she looked at me as if to say, "What are you on about?" And then she realized, and we both burst out laughing. I hope no one ever proposes to me on a long road trip. TLDR, thanks to travel sickness, my response to my friend telling me how much I meant to her was to freaking puke. I mean, that's definitely an awkward moment. Like, that, I feel like that's one of those, like, sitcom, rom-com moments where somebody, like, throws up and it's just like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. What the fuck? Weird. Why did it not... So I wrote on it, but then when I come out of it, it's not there. No. There. I don't know what happened. That was weird. Today I fucked up by not knowing that I had been laid off. Oh. I was a support tech for this company, which mostly involved supporting desktop computers and a fairly low security movement, although I had stretched my responsibilities a little over time while helping support a small data center and a simple campus network. I arrived early that morning, which wasn't uncommon for me. I greeted the security guard as I entered through the main door, as I had done every morning for 3 years. No questions. Nothing seemed any different than any other day. The door to our office had a physical push-button code which hadn't changed in many, many years. I sat down at my desk and tried to log in, only to find my password was being rejected. This seemed odd, but with no one else around to assist, I took it upon myself to reset and unlock my password using the domain's administrator account, which was a password shared between sysadmins for such an occasion. I didn't see anything odd in the login to explain the issue, so I went on with it about my day, working tickets in the queue, thinking I'd ask the sysadmin team about it when they came in later. About an hour later, my supervisor and his manager entered the room. They seemed surprised to see me, and even more confused that I was logged in and actively working. They explained that I had been let go this morning and that all my physical and network access should have been removed. I didn't explain how I got around all of that. I saw no reason to get others in trouble. I packed my stuff into a box and walked out of the door with them. I really wish they had been upfront and told me about this in person rather than trying to surprise me. But in the end, it did end up leading to the opportunity of a lifetime, and I landed an amazing job a few weeks later. TLDR, used a root account to regain access to a network, not knowing that I had been let go. Sorry, the title to this next one just caught me off guard. I am not prepared. This is a super short one, and I'm gonna try and not stop after I read the title. Sorry, I yawned again. Today I fucked up by accidentally telling an orphan I hope to see them again soon. So for context, I work as a counselor for a state facility that takes kids in while they wait for foster homes. Well, I've been sick the past couple of days and unable to sleep. Plus, everyone was out sick. So I had been working from 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. Ugh. About 10 p.m., my boss hands me a card to sign for an orphan that is leaving to a foster home in the next couple of days. My brain, being an autopilot at this point, just signed it. Was a pleasure working with you, X. Hope to see you again soon. My boss took the card and looked at it, then at me, and was like, really? At that point, it dawned on me what I had just said. I apologized and said that wasn't what I meant, but I think the damage is done. TLDR. I told an orphan leaving the facility I work for I hope to see them again soon in their going away card. Edit. I'm out with strep. I can't edit it. This kid leaves today. I guess it's going how it is. It's just... that poor fucking person, too. Because it's like, how many times have any of us been, like, sick or lack of sleep and just, like... Why am I yawning again? Because I've gotten back asleep. He was gonna fall, baby. I gotta he's like, again, right up next to my leg, and my leg is hanging off of the couch, and so I worry that I'm gonna, like, move, and he's just gonna go whoop. But, like, how many of us have just said something without thinking twice about it, and then we're just like, that's not what I meant. I meant it in the most positive way I possibly can, and I am so, so sorry. Because, like, seriously, how many of us have said shit like that? I know I have. This one is a not safe for work, and this one is going to be our last one. We're actually fitting 11 in this episode, because the next one is, like, super long. We'll see. We'll see where we're at. But, again, not safe for work, one and only warning. Today I fucked up by making a stupid joke. I don't think before I speak. Same. I've been warned about that. I also make stupid jokes, which may not be well received. I'm trying to do better. Again, same, but I'm not trying to do better. So, I've been recently looking for a new tattoo, and I managed to message a tattoo artist. He gave me a pretty cool budget and everything. We were setting everything up when I asked if the price would change if I changed the location from my leg to my arm. He said it wouldn't. Price only changes when the location is a difficult one to get, like your ribs. And then I said, and your asshole. He was confused, so I immediately realized that no one normal speaks like... Again, what is normal, though? I'm going to get that on a shirt. What is normal? And, like, big rainbow letters. And tried to backpedal into saying, oh, I'm just saying you probably charge me more to tattoo someone's butthole. It's just a joke. Stupid joke. I'm sorry. Please don't charge me more. I guess he liked that even less, and he got righteously offended and told me that he didn't know me, didn't appreciate jokes about how he makes a living, and that if I wanted to make jokes, I should find a clown tattoo artist. I apologized again, said then it's off for Sunday. Apologized again. This was all over text. 19 minutes later, and I'm now sitting here, knowing I'm not going to get a tattoo this weekend, and knowing I will look back at this memory years in the future and cringe at my stupidity. I'm a moron. TLDR, made a joke to a tattoo artist. He didn't like it. No tattoo for me. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. So this is me. I feel like if you can't joke with somebody, they shouldn't be tattooing you. But at the same time, personally, I would find that joke absolutely hilarious. That is my humor, like, right fucking there. So, I don't know. I just think that, like, it helps to have somebody with the similar sense of humor. Why am I yawning so fucking much? I feel like it helps to have somebody with a similar sense of humor to you, like, when you're doing stuff like that, especially since, again, depending on the size of the tattoo, you're going to be in, like, constant contact for at least an hour, 30 minutes to, however long it takes to do the tattoo. And I just feel like having the same kind of sense of humor helps because, again, I cope with life with humor. Terrible, terrible humor. But it's just how I do it. I can't help myself. I say stupid shit. And then later I beat myself up about it and regret it years into the future. I think we do have some time. Nah, I don't. Yeah. You know what? We're going to risk it for the biscuit. This one is also not safe for work. Today I fucked up hooking up with a woman whose roommate hated me. Last night I showed up at a woman's flat to hook up. I'm going to call her Penelope because she looked like a Penelope and I wanted to avoid referring to her as woman for the rest of the story. Penelope and I matched on Tinder a few days ago. Our online communication revealed that both of us experienced an unpleasant breakup recently. We made a pact to forget about our exes and just enjoy each other with no strings attached. I mean, rebounds are fine, especially when you both are fairly aware that's what it is. So there I was, knocking on the door of Penelope's flat when a man who kind of looked like Josh Brolin answered the door. Josh Brolin, sorry, He introduced himself as Penelope's husband before asking me how old I was. I said 23. He shook his head and said, even younger than the previous guy. Penelope appeared moments later and practically pushed the husband out of the way. She apologized on the husband's behalf and said he was her soon-to-be ex-husband, who is now nothing more than an annoying roommate until she's financially secure enough to move out. Penelope grabbed my arm and whisked me away to the bedroom. I'm sorry, personally, if I was a dude, I could not perform under that kind of circumstance, knowing that the husband is right there, like, no, bitch, we gotta go back to my place, or we gotta go find a hotel room, because there's no way I'm performing under those kind of circumstances. Absolutely not. Oh, I asked if it was appropriate to sleep together with her ex in the flat. She said her ex was not going to be a problem. She was wrong. He was a big problem for my peace of mind, and to not mention my erection. I could not. I struggled to get it up when Penelope was going down on me because I could hear her ex yelling in the background. I couldn't. I think he was playing online games and communicating with other players. All I heard was F-bombs and death threats. I couldn't help but feel like he was low-key trying to intimidate me. Bruh, it sounded like it was working. I decided to go down on Penelope and see if burying my face between her legs would distract me from her disruptive ex. It was working. I actually managed to get hard in the process. However, as we prepared for penetration, the ex knocked on the door and informed Penelope that her dad was there. Penelope got out of bed and got dressed. I followed her lead and asked if I should leave. She advised me not to leave the room until she returned. An argument erupted between Penelope and her ex as soon as she was on the other side of the door. Based on what I heard, Penelope had no idea that her ex made plans to spend some time with her dad. The dad assured Penelope that he only agreed to have one beer with his son-in-law. The son-in-law apologized to the dad for the tension in the atmosphere and asked Penelope if she was going to introduce her father to the young man in her bed. At that moment, I stopped eavesdropping and backed away from the door like the stampede in Jumanji was approaching. Bruh, I understand that. She said her ex used her dad to sabotage her time with me and create an awkward environment. I assumed Penelope was going to ask me to leave, but she did the opposite. She invited me to have a beer with her ex and her dad. That's not weird. She said the two of us had nothing to be ashamed of, so why not? Not gonna lie, I would have preferred going home, but I got the feeling that the beer thing was some kind of reverse psychology power move for Penelope, and I didn't want to abandon her, especially if she was willing to sleep with me. Baby, I could tell you that there are plenty of other women that would gladly just have sex with you, no strings attached, and not bring this much drama to the table. I finished my beer as fast as possible and called it a night. Based on the intense eye contact and uncomfortable silence, it was clear that the ex-husband and the dad wanted me gone. I'd be like, bitch, I'm gone. Penelope unexpectedly kissed me and squeezed my butt after her ex and her dad refused to respond to me when I said goodbye to them. I appreciate what she did now that I'm somewhere safe, but I was terrified of physically getting thrown out of the flat when that happened. LOL. I think I'm done hooking up with random people on the internet for the time being. TLDR. Matched with a woman on Tinder. Showed up at her flat to hook up. Little did I know that her roommate was her soon-to-be ex-husband and a villain who had plans to get rid of me. I mean, you know, I'm glad he was able to somewhat get over the fact that her ex-husband was right in the other room. However, I couldn't if it was me. I could not have performed under any of those circumstances. I also think I would have been a little bit frustrated, like, later on, like, getting cock-blocked like that. I know, I'm sure Penelope feels that way. Because, like, imagine just planning to hook up with somebody, like, you're gonna get something good with somebody else, and your ex-husband just fucks it all up. I mean, it's petty on his end. And I'm sure, like, if we heard this story from his side, like, in a petty revenge, it would be absolutely hilarious. But, I mean, I don't really see that as, like, a fuck up. Like, personally, I think if it was me, in an ideal world, I would like to say that if I showed up for something like that, and was met with that situation, I'd be like, listen, like, I'm sure you're a great person and a great lay, but this isn't for me. I'm leaving. But I know in reality, I would feel too fucking awkward to leave and say no and go inside. And thus the situation would have happened like that. So I feel for OP, because honestly, like, that is a terrible fucking situation to be in. And I hope that he was able to get some later on with less drama. Thanks to everybody for listening today. I hope you all enjoyed the podcast. If you know somebody who likes my content, feel free to send me their way in a share. If you would like to send me a message via any of my, with your own story, rant, question, unpopular opinion, or if you want me to tell others how you fucked up today, or any day, send me a message via any of my social media found in the description below. Just look for my cute little avatar you see on whatever app you're listening on. Please, give a rating if you enjoyed what you heard today. I hear that they help out tremendously. And as always, I will catch y'all next time. Bye! And again, as that's doing its thing, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video today. It was a wild one. Please, if you feel like it, down below you can leave a comment. Tell me what your favorite story was. Tell me a time you fucked up, and if I get any, I'll read them in the next episode, maybe. I don't know. The like button is there. The dislike button is also there. Not that I think it does anything for YouTube anymore, but hey, make your opinion known. I do. Also, if you have not subscribed, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and also the bell icon if that is your jam. And I will see you guys next week. I hope you guys all have a good weekend.